Hi, my name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, give me a round of applause because I finally remembered to actually plug my microphone in this time and put the windscreen on it. So, you know, I have my life really together, and hopefully I sound a little bit better because of that. But we are here today because I am announcing that I am hosting another readathon. This is going to be called the Indie April Readathon, which will be a month-long readathon, obviously taking place in the month of April. And the whole goal of this readathon is to read as much as possible from indie authors throughout the month. So before we get into all of the details for this readathon, I want to quickly let you guys know that this is actually inspired by my boyfriend. It's kind of funny, but he does this thing on Spotify that he calls Indie April, where he finds a bunch of music artists that have less than 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and throughout the entire month of April he just goes through all of those artists and their entire discography, and he calls it Indie April. And he did it last year, and I thought it was so fun, and I thought it would be a great idea to take into the reading space and to celebrate indie authors and bring them attention and give them love instead of the big publishers for a change. So shout out to my boyfriend for inspiring this readathon. So like I said, the goal for this readathon is to read as much from indie authors as possible in the month of April. So whether that is 1 book per week, 5 books, 10 books, or if you want to be a little bit ambitious and try to make every single book that you read in the month of April from an indie author, however you choose to do it, that is the goal. So you are definitely more than welcome to participate in the readathon, even if you do not want to participate with the social media prompts. That is totally fine, but for those of you who do like a little bingo board and you like prompts, I have created one for you guys. Here it is. We're gonna go through all of the prompts now. So the first one is to read from an author you have enjoyed before. I am sure, well, at least I hope that most of us have already read from an indie published author before. So just go ahead and pick up something else from an author that you have liked. The next prompt is to post your TBR on social media. Of course, I have created templates for this. So I have one that has 4 slots for books, one that has 6 slots for books, and then I'm also going to put up a blank one just in case you do want to do a month-long readathon and maybe you read 20 books in a month, so you want to put all 20 books on your TBR template. That is up to you. You don't have to use these templates if you want to just post a photo of the books or type out a comment and let me know what your TBR is if you're not somebody that uses social media. Once again, with the goal of this readathon to be bringing attention to indie authors and giving them some love, of course we want to share as much as possible from what we're reading online. The next prompt is to read a book with less than 500 ratings. So most of the time when you're reading an indie book, it's probably going to be something with a lower amount of ratings, but that is not always the case. So this is just an extra challenge for you guys to go and find something that has a very, very low amount of ratings on whatever website you use, probably Goodreads, but wherever you get your book reviews, find one that has less than 500 and pick it up. Our next prompt is a little fun. This is to pick a book based on the cover. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Our next prompt is to read a diverse book. So I'm leaving this one a little bit up to your guys' interpretation. So you can choose a diverse book based off of the fact that maybe it has diverse characters, or maybe it's from a diverse author, maybe both. I think a good general rule to follow is reading something from somebody with at least one different identity to you, if that makes any sense. So for example, me being somebody who's white, maybe I pick up a book from somebody who's not, or a book where the main character is not white. Or being somebody who is cisgender, maybe I pick up a book from somebody who's not, or a book with a character who is not. So however you want to interpret that, but I do think it's good to diversify your reading so we're not just reading from white men all of the time. The next prompt is to share a review online. So this is wherever you like to share your book reviews, whether that's Goodreads, Storygraph, if you share your book reviews on Amazon, if you have a blog, if you have an Instagram, YouTube, however you share your book reviews. I want you to share at least one review for one of the books that you read in Indie April. Once again, coming back to that idea of bringing more love and attention to these indie authors. If you are somebody who doesn't use any of these book reviewing platforms or any social media platforms, feel free to come back to this video or any of the other videos that I make for this readathon and just comment your review there, because I would say that still counts because you're still spreading the word about the author and the book that you read. The next prompt is to read a book outside of your comfort zone. Once again, this is a little bit up for interpretation. This is whatever that means to you. If you are somebody who reads a lot of horror, then maybe you'll pick up a general fiction or a romance book. Or maybe you read a lot of romance and you want to pick up a dark romance book. Just something that is a little bit out of your comfort zone, you haven't read before, but you are willing to give it a try. The next prompt is another kind of a fun one. April is obviously when Earth Day happens, so this prompt is to read outdoors in celebration of Earth Day. I just think this is just a fun little prompt, so you don't have to get overwhelmed with having too many books, but you can use the books that you do have selected and take them outdoors. I love nature, I love reading in the sun, I love feeling the wind on my face while I'm reading, so this will be a really fun prompt to complete, and once again, in celebration of Earth Day. And the last prompt that we have here is to read from a new to you author. So not only are you going to be reading from an author that you've enjoyed before, but you also want to pick up somebody that you've never read before and give them a first try. So that is all the prompts for our bingo board. So obviously a bingo in this game would be getting 3 in a row, either direction. If you want to be an overachiever and go for blackout and get everything on the board, obviously, you're more than welcome to do that, and you are also welcome to participate in the readathon without completing the prompts like I already mentioned. All of the prompts will also be listed in the description of this video if you want an easier way to view all of them. In addition, I would also like to mention that you are more than welcome to double up on your prompts. So for example, when you pick a book based on the cover, that can be the same book as the book that is outside of your comfort zone. I kind of always assume whenever I do a readathon that has prompts or a bingo board that you can double up on them, but I know I hosted the Ominous October readathon in October, and that was one of the things that some people were a little bit unclear on, was if you could double up. So yes, if I ever do a readathon, you can always double up on the prompts that I give you guys. So with all of that out of the way, I'm sure the biggest question you might be asking yourself is, how do you actually know if a book is indie published? A lot of the times it's kind of easy to tell, but scrounging around the internet, I found this spreadsheet that somebody made. To be honest, I can't remember where I found this spreadsheet because it was kind of months ago, but it says it is created by Chelsea Chow, I believe is how you pronounce it. So this is a nice little spreadsheet that I will link down below. This gives you all of the big 5 publishers and then everything else that falls below them. So if you pick up a book and you're not sure if it's indie published, you can reference this spreadsheet, and if that publisher is listed on this spreadsheet, then it is not an indie publisher. For those of you who are like me and you read a lot from Kindle Unlimited, I think that is probably one of the most useful tools for accessing hundreds, maybe even thousands of indie authors of every single genre. So I do already have an old video on my channel going through over 50 horror books on Kindle Unlimited. Not only do I plan to redo that video and do an updated revised version of it, but I also want to do Kindle Unlimited sci-fi recommendations, and then I'm also thinking of doing Kindle Unlimited romance recommendations, so let me know if that is something you guys would be interested in. But that is one of the fun points of this readathon, is that it does not matter what genre you read, you can still participate in it. So that is pretty much all of the information I have to give you guys today on the readathon. Everything will be linked down below that I have mentioned in here. You can head over to my Instagram to get those templates for your Instagram story if you want the bingo board and the TBR templates. And like I mentioned, I want this video kind of to serve as all of the information for this readathon. So if you have any questions on it at any point, feel free to come back to this video and comment down below and I will get back to you. So I hope you guys are excited for this readathon because I know I am. I'm very, very looking forward to picking up a lot of indie authors. There is one that is at the top of my list. I know I'm gonna read from this author because I've loved so much of their stuff before and I absolutely cannot wait. So leave a comment down below if you think you'll be able to participate in this readathon. I look forward to seeing you all there, and thank you so much for watching.